So I watched Trevor Noah's latest stand-up on Netflix, and it was brilliant, of course. And what I admire about Mr. Trevor Noah's comedy is the humanity at the very basic level. And if you look at how he grew up in South Africa, I read his autobiography too. I can see that his life has been a series of hardships, incredible hardships. And it's simply a miracle that he survived all these incidents and stayed a decent human being. So, sometimes actions can crush people, and people can be distorted, and people can be biased, and people can be stressed out, and so that it's difficult to stay a good-natured human being. But in the case of Trevor Noah and in some other people's, um, it has been possible to be a better person just because of the hardships and you know um, all these manifestations of the unreliable side of humanity. So it's like the rolling stone, running down the river. When you see pebbles on the beach, you see they are round and well balanced, and that's because of all these crashes and frictions and erosions inflicted upon the stone on the way from the mountains to the sea. And because of all these rough treatments of the stone has become round and well balanced and full of nagomi, if you like. And I see Mr. Trevor Noah's good nature as something like the Rolling Stone, which has become um, round and balanced through hardships and rough um, roadmaps and all these difficulties that you face in life. In cognitive science, there's this concept, desirable difficulties, and Albert Einstein had one of these. He couldn't speak a word, according to his relatives, until the age of 5 or so, and his brain had some really non-typical makeup, and because of that difficulty, Albert Einstein had to rely on other modalities of the brain, specifically the spatial processing in the parietal cortex and so on. And that, you know, trying to develop a process made the difficulties desirable difficulties. And I think the same can be said about Trevor Noah. Yes, his upbringing in South Africa was difficult. Yes, his multiracial, makeup probably made his life a bit difficult than typical person growing up, for example, in Japan, but like me. But because of that, because Trevor somehow made that into a set of desirable difficulties, he could become a really good-natured person, and it shines through his comedy. So that's the wonderful aspect of Trevor Noah's brilliance. I have been watching his daily show over the last several years, and he has been brilliant. And I congratulate Trevor Noah's new departure into a new universe of comedy, and his legacy will be very much appreciated. But this Netflix stand-up has been kind of a shining light that would probably tell us how we should be behaving in the coming years, because the world is becoming a rough place, and the evil people. There will be wars and conflicts and controversies and so on. But we shouldn't be a worse person because of all these things. We should make these really difficult situations into desirable difficulties, just like Trevor Noah did. And we can be a round, smooth, balanced person, just like Trevor Noah became. And we can all be a rolling stone, uh, exposed to the wild uh, elements of nature and society, and yet keep the good natured self and be kind to other people too, just as Trevor Noah is. So that is my feeling after watching the latest really brilliant stand-up on Netflix. And if you haven't, you should.